Hey, grade 12. So it's day 2 of our snow days. And so I hope you are all well, your family's well. And I hope you're staying off the roads too. They're not in great shape, even though some of the main drags have been cleared off. You know, those residential streets are really bad. So if you can stay off the roads, please do so. And a reminder, there's no school tomorrow because of Remembrance Day. And I hope you take the time at 11 o'clock for a moment of silence, and of course take time to watch the virtual Centennial Remembrance Day ceremony video that we were going to watch today, but we're not in school right now. So you do have the link on Google Classroom, so please take the time to watch that. And a lot of people participated, your fellow classmates and students participated in this, and they did a wonderful job. And so I hope you take the time to watch and reflect and remember. And if you were bringing a poppy donation today, we are asking that you bring it on Thursday, please. And that, again, all poppy donations will go towards the Poppy Fund, which goes directly to the Royal Canadian Legion to help our veterans out. So we're looking forward to your participation in that as well. So we're back to school on Thursday, and as long as there's no other weather and anomalies that are out there, there might be some snow tomorrow, but we should be back in the school on Thursday. So stay tuned to any SPSD notifications that may come your way regarding that. All right. So you have your research paper due on November 30th. You have your tombstone due on November 30th, maybe sooner, depending on how fast we get through this play. I would recommend you get those big projects out of the way so you can spend more time on your second class, and this is all your time management. That's 20% for the paper, 25% for the project. So 45% is at stake if you choose not to hand these in. And you have plenty of time because it's a snow day. And yes, you can get some time out and outdoors and enjoy yourself, but you also have to stay on track with your schooling as well. So please be sure that you're doing that. Okay. And when it comes to the paper, we're going to have the laptops on Thursday. And I'll try to rebook again. We were supposed to have it on Monday, Tuesday. But due to the closures, I have to schedule. So I'm going to try to do that when I get back to school so I can see what the calendar looks like. And I do recommend that you should have your rough draft already done. And if you haven't started yet, November 30th comes pretty quick. So be sure that you are working on that and getting it off your plate. And don't forget to validate. And you're looking at 2 sources max for a 2 to 4 page paper. Okay. And again, if you're not sure how to do MLA 8, look in your course online, look on LibGuide, and use the Cite This For Me online MLA 8 in-text citation, and it says bibliography, but it works cited. You just copy and paste and go from there. Okay. If you have any questions, please let me know and email me if you have those questions, or you can post on Google Classroom and I'll respond to you as quick as possible. In the meantime, let's I've asked you to read Act 3, Scenes 1 and 2. And so I'm hoping that you have done that. And really, that's the whole act. Okay. So you should have all of Act 3 done, completed. I don't want you moving into Act 4 yet because there's, oh, wait a second. There's one more scene. Hey, 2 more scenes. All right, there's 2. So you have 2 more scenes to go. How could I forget that? I didn't turn to the correct page. Okay, so there are 4 scenes in Act 3. So you have 2 that you should have done, and you have scenes 3 and 4 to complete as well. Okay, So now that we know that. All right, so if you can get that done, and I'm asking you to do some summary notes of your own. You need to know how to do summary notes on your own. I've been showing you different ways of doing it, and with my summary notes, I'm asking you to come up with your own, and then you could fill in the blanks later on when we take it up for a review. But if you're going to wait until we take it up for review, you're missing the point. The point is for you to learn these skills so that you can have an easy transition with your post-secondary classes. So your summary notes, the way you do them will be the way you do them. It's how you will learn, and how you will take in the information, what you find important, and what you believe the instructor finds important, and you'll make those points, write it down, and add them to your summary notes, and then use that for your studying purposes for exams and things like that. So I'm really hoping you're going to do that, and I will be looking for that when I mark your summary notes when you submit them at the end of the play. All right, so quickly, Act 3, Scene 1. This is the climax of the play. This is the to be or not to be speech, one of the most famous speeches of all time. And so it's Hamlet, to be here or not to be here. That is the question. So to stay on the course and follow the instructions of my ghost dad, and ensure that Claudius is the person that murdered his father, and making him pay for his deeds and freeing his father's soul from purgatory, or not, and just letting things go the way they are, and maybe go back to school in Wittenberg or whatever. And it's maybe it'd be better if I'm not around, and then they can live their crazy life that they're living. And this is in regards to his mother and his uncle. But then he realizes that he needs to stay the course because there's too much at stake here, and he needs to be sure that his father's soul is free, and also he has to think about Ophelia, because how can he protect Ophelia while trying to solve the mystery, I guess, of who murdered his father. And Hamlet's using the play within the play, which will come up shortly, and that'll be the proof that Claudius is indeed guilty and he will pay. So we'll see what happens later on with that. But while Hamlet is, should I do this, should I do that, to be or not to be, all that, then Ophelia walks in, and before he finishes up his soliloquy, he says, "Be all my sins remembered." And this is going to come up again in Act 5, Scene 2, where he's going to ask Horatio to remember his sins. And so I'm not going to give too much away in that regard, but because there's a few spoilers in that with that. But it's going to come back again. So be all my sins remembered, to remember my sins, remember who I am, my faults and everything like that, so that this never happens again. Like that, none of this stuff happens again. So Ophelia comes in, and then at first it was a really nice reunion. They haven't seen each other for a while, because Polonius instructed Ophelia to spurn Hamlet, to not give him any attention or time of day, that kind of thing, and to report back if Hamlet pursues her, and which she has reported back, and we saw that in Act 2. So this is a good moment for Hamlet and Ophelia. But then Ophelia returns these gifts, and this is right away Hamlet knows something's up. And we already know as an audience that Polonius and Claudius are watching the transaction between Ophelia and Hamlet, and they want to see whether or not Hamlet is truly mad, and mad for being spurned by Ophelia, or is it madness because of the loss of the father? So they're spying. Ophelia has to put on, follow these instructions, put on this act that she's returning everything and that she has to end the relationship, things like that. And Hamlet knows right away that this is not Ophelia. She would never want the relationship to end, and she would want to keep it going. If you watch the movie Ophelia that came out earlier this year, that interaction between Ophelia and Hamlet during the to be or not to be speech, personally, I believe that they did a better job in that movie, because then we actually get to see and hear how true that relationship really is with all the craziness going on. But we only get Hamlet's take on this in this play, and so we have to surmise that when Hamlet says, "Get thee to a nunnery," he knows he's being spied on. He knows Ophelia is not acting herself, and he wants her out of the way. And the only way that she can be out of the way safely is to go to a nunnery. And nunneries back then were safe havens for women that needed to be protected. And she doesn't understand this, and she doesn't understand the way he's acting or reacting, and just finds him. She feels she's lost him because he's totally gone from this type of person to this type of person, and it's very very uncharacteristic of the person that she is familiar with. And so he takes off. Polonius says, "Oh yes, he's totally mad, totally, and Claudius is like, I don't think so. There's more to this, and if he's going to be acting that way, I've got to watch my back." So Claudius says, "Madness and those on what? Let's get the right line here. Madness and great ones must not on watch go." So Claudius already knows that Hamlet is a great person. He's well liked by the people and things like that. But if a great one goes mad, you better watch your back. So Claudius is going to be looking over his shoulder a lot from now on. In scene 2, they're getting ready for the play within the play, and so they perform the play exactly as described by Ghost Hamlet. So if you go back to the two versions of how King Hamlet was sleeping in the orchard, and he was stung by a serpent at first, and then once Hamlet guessed that it was Claudius, then he says, "Stung by your uncle," and of course poison in the ear and things like that. They reenact that in the play within the play, and Claudius reacts the way Hamlet had hoped for, and that was the acknowledgement that Claudius is indeed guilty, and of course affirms that the ghost is true. Okay, so now he believes that the ghost is true, and so he knows what path he needs to take. Where in the previous scene he wasn't sure what path to take, because he was to be this or not to be this, to die, to sleep. He's just going back and forth like a tennis match, and now he knows what to do. Now that's taken a long time for him to get to this point. And so we see the reaction, and of course the court sees the reaction as well. And they've been kind of walking on eggshells all this time too, because they agreed to allow the wedding between Gertrude and Claudius, albeit it was not overwhelmingly a 100% approval rate, but you know, we're looking at status and things like that. They figured, well, if they can maintain their status, they can certainly they'll allow this union to take place. But at the same time, you know, there's whispers and stuff like that, and we're getting that right now. That now that they've witnessed the reaction to the play, the poisoning of the king while sleeping in an orchard, and so now it's like chaotic in the castle, and so Claudius leaves, and the play is called off. Horatio was tasked at watching his reaction. He needed a second set of eyes to you know, are you seeing what I'm seeing? And Horatio said, yeah, I saw exactly what you saw. So that just confirms that Hamlet's father, the ghost dad, was correct in that assessment. And so then Rosencrantz and Guildenstern are still here. I don't know why they're still here. Like they're trying to get some extra points with the king, and I'm not sure why. Like these two are not best friends with Hamlet, yet they're still there. And so they're more of an annoyance than anything, and Hamlet's patience with them is running very thin, and because he knows that the two of them are working for the king, whether they know that they are doing the king's bidding, because the king Claudius and Polonius too, they use other people to as pawns in their chess games, so without them realizing it. And so then Polonius comes in and says that Hamlet's mother wants to speak to him, and because his mother is not very pleased with Hamlet's behavior, and of course what he has done to his father, well, stepfather, well, uncle. Okay, so Hamlet says, I will speak to her, and I'm going to speak daggers to her, but not use none. So he's going to use strong language and just basically tell his mother exactly how he feels, what's been going on, and that she is totally in the wrong. But remember, he had a warning by his ghost dad to leave his mother alone for Judgment Day. So will Hamlet follow those direct instructions to the letter? Stay tuned. Read Act 3, Scene 3 and 4 to find out. Okay, so that's your task today. Finish the act up, do your summary notes for those, and of course your paper and your tombstone. All right, so if you have any questions, please let me know, and we'll talk to you on Thursday. Be safe. Take care.